Alright, so this is art log, I think number 11. Let me check. I always forget to check before I start recording. Alright, yeah, this is art log number 11. So, my last video is a month ago. I left off on November the 8th as far as my sketches go, so I'll go ahead and open that real quick. Let me open the OBS real quick to make sure I'm okay. So open, and let me check. So November, this was my last sketch. This one. So these were my last sketches on November 8th. So something that I want to point out here with these after I quote finish them, right? The whole goal right now is just to be able to sketch without just getting I don't want to say stuck, because getting stuck is kind of a good thing when it comes to drawing, especially when you're practicing, because it helps to like overcome certain obstacles, like as far as like I don't know, perspective or color. Those obstacles that you run into are really what help you grow as an artist. But I'm trying to figure out like what I want to go for as far as my style. And I know it's not necessarily like the best thing to pursue in some people's eyes. Like, you shouldn't be looking for your style, you should be looking for fundamentals. I've heard a lot. I'm moving more into fundamentals, but like not to the point where I'm drawing, you know, 50 hands and 50 backs and 50 knees. You know, I just, to me, that's just really boring. I mean, to anybody it's boring. It's like the mental exercise that helps you get better, but I haven't done any of that yet. I'm just now getting into looking at references while I draw, so just bear with me. Like, it's very it's not the easiest thing to tackle, especially when you don't want to get bored when you draw. Like, every time I draw, I want to have fun, not draw 80 backs and 80 heads and 80 ears. I haven't gotten into any of my classes yet either, so I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of that's gonna come up, but who knows? I mean, I'm really eager to go ahead and get into my main classes, but yeah. But anyways, this is how they came out. So I'm gonna go ahead and go back to the 20th, and we'll close that tab. All right. So, oh wait, no. Okay. So this is, damn it. All right, that was the 20th, November 20th. But here is a sketch from November 17th. Now, you can already see that I'm trying to move more into having like a background and kind of like a story in a way. I don't really know how to draw mountains and all that kind of stuff yet. Like, I bought a book that has a whole bunch of different plants and different trees and wildlife, and I'm starting to collect reference through that, like, because there's a lot of pictures on the internet, but there's also a lot of books that have a lot of pictures that are copyrighted that can't be, you know, posted and stuff like that. So I try to get access to that stuff through buying Amazon books and all that. I want to aim to go for like buying a book per month, maybe, so that I have like a whole bunch of things that I can look at physically, because it helps me to understand. But anyways, with this drawing, I tried to draw a character in a sort of forest, and I always go for this, like, there's something about having the sun that's not in the sky. Like, it's in the sky, but like from the perspective of like the person looking at it, right? The sun is like kind of close to the ground. I don't know what it is about that, but it's just so, I like it so much. Like, when the character is above the sun, like, but they're not, and it's like, I'm still figuring that stuff out. But obviously, I mean, if you're more experienced than I am, you can look at this and easily tell like what I'm lacking. But for me, I find these things out through watching YouTube videos and, like, you know, hour-long YouTube videos, GDC, even sometimes. It's crazy. Like, there's just, it's always just about like thinking about it throughout the day and when I'm not drawing, like thinking about, okay, like what was I struggling with last the most that I noticed, other than like proportions and stuff like that. And that's how I basically choose what to tackle in my next drawing. So I knew I was weak with, drawing, or I know I am weak with drawing environment and characters. So I just try to mix them a little bit. I don't necessarily try to go and draw perfect trees or perfect rocks, but I get the idea in there because I know what I had in my mind. Like if I wanted to come back, 10 years from now and look back on this drawing and I wanted to remake it, I knew exactly what I was going for. In a way, it's like concept art for the future. These are really cool ideas in my brain, but when I draw them on the canvas, they come out very, very different than what I expected them to, or like what I was aiming for. So if you're if anybody's watching this and like you struggle with your illustrations or art in general, and you plan to go into like, I don't know, like the game industry or movie industry or something like that, I think it's really important to realize, like, if you keep sketching or keep drawing, one day you can always come back on that idea, and it'll be it'll be there just as much as it was when you first drew it, and now you have more skill to take it further. That's the way I see these kinds of sketches. I know that if I just do my best to include all the information that I would need to remake this drawing, I can do it one day. So that's the way I look at them now. And another thing, I tried to tackle a lot of things in this sketch, and it was at one point, like, it was really hard for me to just go and post it on Instagram or whatever, because I was just like, I don't know if this, like, it's kind of embarrassing, and I'm still getting over that. As an artist, you just can't let your embarrassment or your lack of knowledge on something stop you from going out there and trying to expose yourself to other people. Like, especially, like, there's a lot of artists talk about how many different resources we have nowadays. Like, you don't have to, like, if you have a drawing that's quote bad, you can easily go to some Discord, like some art Discord channel, post your art in there, and people will give you all kinds of freaking critiques. Now, like, for me personally, it's not something that I do every day, right? But like, it's something that I remind myself to do weekly, or at least that's the goal, right? Like, nobody wants to just put themselves on the fire and then just get judged by everybody else on what they did wrong when they poured their soul into the drawing. But you'll get all kinds of things that will help you a lot, and it's up to you what you take and don't take. It's not like you have to listen to every part. Like, there is a such thing as bad critique, and it will happen if you put your art out there to be critiqued. But like, you have to, I'm guessing that, like, the more you do it, the more you put your art out there to be critiqued, the more what information is the most beneficial for you to grow. I'm guessing. Like, as an artist, like, my work is very young. I'm in the very early stages, the infant stages, if you could even say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing's in concrete. Things can always change, and things probably will change a lot. So I'm not really trying to not take critique, but at the same time, I'm open to it, and it will help if I just don't get butthurt about it and all that stuff. But yeah, and it's very straining on the brain too. Like, if you do it a couple times, like I've done it a couple times, and it's like, okay, there's so much to take in. Like, they're telling you the problem, but to go and fix that problem yourself, sometimes it can take a lot longer than it even maybe took to do the whole thing in the first place. It's with each critique, you have to take what you will from it. Like, if someone says that your arms, you draw your arms twisted a lot and your feet are too small, you can't really focus on both of those things at the same time. Well, you can. I don't want to say can't for anything, especially if it's creative, but like, it's like, you can choose the foot, or you can choose the arm, and you tackle one before the other. And I know that kind of it's kind of like going against what I said as far as like what I'm doing right now, which is trying to kind of tackle environment and character at the same time. But holy shit, it's been 10 minutes and I'm only on one. Okay, so anyways, I tried to do a little color with this, and here's how it came out. So first I started with like a kind of rough drawing or rough color on the back character. I don't know why I do this. I don't know what it does. Honestly, it just makes it look a little bit cooler sometimes. So I just go out of my way to do it every now and then. Something that I'm really proud of with this drawing specifically is I managed to not make the drawing look so flat. With like the little pouch here, I'm really proud of this pouch. I don't know why, but these pouches right here are just, I'm so glad. And then, man, yeah, I really like, this is probably my favorite part of the whole drawing. This, like, okay, maybe this part. Okay, I honestly, I really like the drawing. The part where I struggled the most, I don't know if you can tell, like I said, like, what you'll be able to notice and not notice really depends on your experience and how, like, what you've put more time into. Like, for me personally, I've put more time into design and armor design and stuff like that, and all that. But like, I haven't really studied so much how an arm would look if it was stretched out towards a camera and stuff like that. So I don't really know, like, I was thinking about like Tomb Raider. One of the Tomb Raider, I'm pretty sure one of the Tomb Raider covers had a what's it called? Like a cover with the arm like stretched out, like holding the torch out. So I mean, looking back on it now, of course, there's plenty ways I could have like edited this to make it not look so stiff. Like, but you learn, you live and you learn, I guess. So I had to let that go for sure. Like, I had to learn when to let it go, like Frozen. I'm gonna regret ever saying that. But so I tried to throw in like different colors, and I really had so much fun trying to figure out these clouds. Even though I didn't make them perfect, you know, I had a blast trying to figure that out. And then when I threw the color in there, this is what came. So then I remembered, highlights from the sun. Yeah, that happens. Oh yeah, and highlights from the torch. You know, the torch should not stop and not affect the pouch. So I figured, oh wait, shit. Wait. Alright, I probably need to like put some kind of names on these damn layers, but there it is. So like, I tried to have, let me get a different, I tried to have kind of a glow on there, just kind of show that, hey, this torch is really strong and bright, so it's gonna be really hard lights coming from it. Anyways, I don't know how to explain it, like the technical terms. I've never been really a fan of all the technical stuff. Most of the time, and that's something that I need to focus on, right? Like, if I'm going to be drawing for a company or like with peers and stuff like that to make a product, I have to be able to communicate my ideas efficiently, which means that I have to go, you know, watching these technical videos and learning all the ways to say things and how to explain them best. But like, for me, like, whenever I watch, like, I enjoy just drawing, right? But whenever I go and watch a video which is like some guy like that's really experienced drawing in a sketchbook, and you see all these fucking graphs and lines and shit, it just really, I gotta stop cursing so much, I'm sorry, but like, it really just like overwhelms me. I'm just like, yo, I just like to draw, man. Like, I don't want to do architecture or draft, man, like numbers here and there. I just want to draw. You know, I don't want to know the technical terms all the time, but even though I know they're important. It's something I'm working on, you know. I'd rather, and it's 50-50. Like, sometimes, like, I know, like, you know, color theory and all that stuff, and like, you know, hues and what is it called? See, I can't even think of it now. Like, it's so hard for me to pull those out, but like, I know them when I see them for sure. So yeah, I went from that and just kind of added like a little hue around the sun. I'm pretty sure. Wait, that was it? I left the sun like that? Oh hell no, there's no way. No, that has to be wrong, dude. Oh yeah, and for some reason, sometimes like I'll pit I'll put the like layer that's under it on, and it'll kind of make it look better. Like you see it right here, it's like too bright. I felt like it was too bright because at the same time, there's also a hard shadow being cast from that sun, like that would be like here maybe. But I'm really scared to use dark, really blacks for some reason. I don't know what it is, but I look at Darkest Dungeon and Alone in the not Alone in the Dark, the Lone Dark, or I think it's the Lone Dark. They have really hard shadows and stuff, and I love those to death. But like, it's gonna be the death of me if I try to just jump into it. So I try to take my time with it. Yeah, and then some lines I kept in just for effect, I guess. I had a hard time taking out the lines for the clouds, but I'm pretty sure I left them in the final post on Instagram. So I mean, that was pretty cool. So the next one is November 20th. So this is a really simple one. Oh wait, whoops. No, cancel. Okay, so this is a really simple one. Like, it was just a character that I came up with. Had a lot of fun with it. I wish I had like stages with these. That's what I've been doing with my recent drawings. So hopefully some of those come up. But like before, this was a really hard and it was like really just not saturated enough. It was like, or I think it was really saturated. Like all of the colors were really bland. So I just blasted them with like just straight heat, like fire. You know, just straight fire. I don't know what I mean by that, but this is how it looked at first. This is how it looked at first. It's like really bland, in my opinion. So I was just like, how do I just make this look cooler? Like, what can I do? And then I was just like, kabang! That was probably cringe, but anyway, yikes. So it's, I just kaboomed it with just an overlay, so it like kind of looked better. Yeah, I did that. Proud of it. With this one, I mainly struggled on trying to make sure that it didn't look so flat. Like, I can, like, if I zoom in, right, I kept trying to have like lines that represented shadows and have like the little rings on the arm to show that, hey, this isn't a flat surface. Like, I'm just screaming it throughout the whole thing. Like, hey, this is a flat surface. Hey, this isn't a flat surface. You know, and I just kind of lost myself there. But overall, man, I think I did pretty good with this drawing. This is probably one of my favorites that I've done thus far. Might even have this as a profile picture for a couple days but I love Halo ODST so much, like I can't do it. Yeah, so this is the 24th. Now this one was great. Like, I learned so much from this drawing. Like, let me see. This is my reference that I used. So this was the reference. So from this to this to this. So when I use my references, I try not to like copy them word for word, right? Or line for line. I try to implement, like, take what I like from it and add, you know, and not necessarily, like, a lot of people call it like stealing. Like, I don't know why artists like to throw that word on there. Like, I'm pretty sure before they ever said it though, like, they had this like, stealing sounds bad, which it does, obviously, but like, who knows, man? Like, I just can't say I stole this pose. Like, it makes me feel retarded. So I try not to use that term when I talk about poses and color palettes and all that stuff. I tend to give it my own flavor, if I would say that. But with this drawing, I tried to go for thicker lines, just straight darker darks, thicker lines, lighter lights, all in one. And I'm pretty glad that I did that. Like, I'm pretty happy with what came from it. And it let me know, like, it taught me a lot, because like, I like to give myself variation when I draw, and to just use thin lines all the time, it kind of gets repetitive to me. So every now and then I just, instead of using, like, for example, a hard round pressure brush with like 6, I'll just bump it up to like 12 randomly and just use pressure, and you can kind of tell I use pressure throughout this, but at the same time, like, I tend to go back over lines until they're thick enough. So I mean, I don't know, but I had a blast doing this. But this is how it looked before. This is actually how the drawing looked. So this is how it came out at first, and I was really happy with it. And then my friend Berserk told me, he was like, hey man, like, this drawing is really saturated, like, or it's not saturated, it's something like that. I'm pretty sure if you know technical terms, you probably know what I'm saying here, but he's like, yeah man, just try to up the contrast or something like that. So I was like, okay. Did this, worked like a charm. Like, I don't know how. I don't know how. Like, it's just so fucking weird. I mean, it's so weird. I gotta stop cursing so much in these videos, but it's so weird just trying to understand how big of a difference that makes. So that's something I've been trying to keep in mind whenever I draw something. This was just a sketch that I did one day. I'm pretty sure it was a whole bunch of like faces and stuff, because I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I just went back to, you know, a comfort sketch is what I like to call them. And that's when I use a really thick line and I just go with the flow until I find something that looks cool. Like, for example, I'll do one right now. So if I, you know, I'll just probably do this and just keep going until something comes out of it. And it's not really uniform in any way. It's just, you know, and I'll erase and everything, like, but like, it's just, for me, it's just really fun to just not have a really thick brush, or not really thick brush, what am I saying? Not have like so much to worry about as far as lines go. Like, and these let me, it's not really a cool looking helmet at all, but yeah, things happen. All right, it's not like, but I just keep, you know, sketching until I find something that looks cool, and I call those comfort sketches. So look at that, boom. Probably just came up with a cool little shoulder plate. No shit. Yeah, just came up with a cool looking shoulder plate thing. Look at that. Call it, I can't call it dead man's plate, damn it. But I don't know why that came to mind first, but no, just, so if I end up like scribbling and come up with a shoulder pad, like, I'll just try to do it again. I'm like, all right, well, hold on one second, my little brother's singing in the back. Hey, I'm recording a video over here. I'm recording a video, man. I'm recording a goddamn video. All right. Anyways, so yeah, if I notice that I've been drawing like a shoulder pad or something like that, I'll try to keep it going. You know, I'll just try to draw that general shape and just keep adding to it. Just keep adding, like. And I don't know what it is. I love using these brushes. Like, this is like probably one of my favorite brushes that I have, but yeah, it's just keep going, you know, put some little, I just love it. Even though it looks sloppy, right? Like, that's basically what I did with the last one. So yeah, and that's basically what I did with these. I just kept going. You can tell, like, I didn't put any effort into like refining lines. I just went with it, just kept going, and it was so good. I love doing that. Comfort sketches, if you don't, like, just try it. Like, find a brush that you really like and just doodle like you're a little kid. Like back in the day, I used to have stick figures and I'd draw them on helicopters. I'd make a little game out of it. I don't know if my little brother remembers or not, but like I'd have like taking turns. You know, I'd draw stick figures on one side. I'd draw the little health bars. You know, just have fun. Don't worry about it looking good. Just go with it. So this is a sketch from December 1st. So yeah, you can see the date. So yeah, and the reason why the date between these are so big is because like I'd spend like a couple days on these, and like I'd spend like 30-minute sessions throughout the day. So like I'd keep coming back, stop, keep coming back, stop, you know, take a day off, etc. So I'm not perfect, right? So like as much as I want to just keep coming back and drawing for 8 hours straight, it's not good on the brain, especially if like whatever you're doing is studying. Like if you studied math for a long ass time, you would not be the same person by the time you finish. Your brain will blow up. It just won't work. It's the same when you're studying, you know, anatomy or something. If you're looking at all these pictures of hands and you just can't put your thumb on it or your finger on it at that time, like you're gonna just take a step back. It might come to you while you're thinking about it. You don't necessarily have to, and then you start comparing yourself to other artists. It just spirals out of fucking control, and then you just can't focus. You're getting distracted. So what I tend to do is just spread it out. I mean, heck, these aren't assignments, right? Like I'm studying on my own outside of college. Like these aren't assignments. Right now I'm taking 100% gen ed classes before I transfer into college for game art. So I mean this. I'm blowing my own brain up trying to do this. Like, whew. So anyways, with this one, I had a shit ton of fun. I keep cursing, God. Anyways, it's not like I'm worried about monetization, so I don't give a fuck. I mean, like, it's just about I'm gonna edit. I can't edit it out because I suck at editing. But yeah, this was an. Like I think I called this one somewhere familiar, somewhere unfamiliar. Like on ArtStation, I like to name them things, like come up with some cool like idea that makes people think. You know, like I think this was somewhere unfamiliar. So like it's you know, you're seeing a floating rock, like everything's orange with these like really light clouds that are like orangish. So in my mind, this was supposed to be on Mars or something, but like who knows? Somebody could have thought, hey, this could have been just the Grand Canyon, man, with a rock floating. Somebody chunked the rock, but like this rock doesn't look like it's in motion, it's just floating. So I mean, anyways, I busted my ass on this drawing. Like it was like you can see how many layers. Like I was just like, what if I mess this up? Like, all right, make a new layer. What if I mess this up? All right, make a new layer. Like you take it all. Like I started getting confused. Like I didn't know what was what. Like and even though like a lot of these rocks are just lines, like with lines, that's basically how rocks look, right? Like but yeah, I tried, I really did. And I would go through and try to like, let me see if I can get to the line art or the lines without messing up the whole drawing. See, I knew it. So, boom, boom. Now, where are those at? Is that this one? No. This one? No. This one? No. Oh. Alright, so this was the sketch. I mean, I put so much work into this. Like, I spent so much time trying to figure out, like, how do I make this look cool? That's all I wanted to do. I even wrote notes. Like, whenever I took breaks, I would write a note, and this was my last note, because before all of these lines and stuff, it was just straight empty space. Like it was like this, but everywhere. It was just like it looked like he was stuck in a origami rock or something. Like, so I tried to add more detail to make it kind of believable that hey, these are rocks, okay. But with when I posted this on DeviantArt, one of my watchers, I guess, I don't have many. I don't even like saying it that much, but he thought like these were rocks up here too, that was on my part, because for the most part, I mean, it's just clouds don't really ever have outlines like that. Like they're known for just being these really what in the hell? Wait, this was not how it looked earlier. I must have had one off. I think it was this one. No, this one. No, this one. Yes, I think. But I lost my train of thought. Never mind. Okay. So this is another one. I had the biggest art block with this one, I swear. Like, let me see. So this was the final product. This is what it was before. So what I tried to do with this one was use darker darks and just emphasize make it seem like there's actual space between each piece and make it look like they worked. That was the base idea there. But yeah, I decided like not to keep. Oh man, what the hell? Yeah, I definitely took that background off because I took the darker darks a little too far. This ended up looking a little bit like the one that I showed earlier. That was like really saturated or whatever. I don't know if I'm using that word right, but it was really unsaturated. Yeah, so and then I decided to move the arm because it was just causing so many problems. I didn't know what was going on with that, and then this arm just looked really weird. So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna just redo the whole pose and make it look like he's doing something in motion. So that's what I came up with. It was and then instead, like I went with the background. I think I was gonna do like some crashing effect here, but that ended up not looking the way I wanted it to, so I just scrapped that as well. And this was my reference for that. So very different. I don't know if I shoot myself in the butt doing that. Like I'll take one thing and just make it completely different. Nowhere near almost the same pose, but you can see like definitely I think took some things from the legs, and that was a problem when the top part of the body doesn't necessarily go in that same direction. I don't know. This is another sketch that I did. It wasn't necessarily one of my favorite, definitely wasn't, but I was having a big art block at the time, as far as like motivation goes and all that. So I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna draw something, you know, just anything. And what I used for reference was, again, something almost completely different. So, I mean, I don't know if that's bad that I'm doing that, but I'm still trying to figure out what works for me and what doesn't. I didn't even try to use, like, I was thinking about pitting this one into a scene, like, as you can see, like here. I was thinking about, like, I was messing around with, like, different, like, environments, but then I was like, I looked at this and then I looked at the ones I did previously and I was like, wait, it just looks like the same place. So I'm trying to figure out like how can I put these characters in environments that don't just look like straight rocks, you know, how can I express that they're not in the same place, and that's through color probably and studying more grass and all that stuff, all that fun stuff. This is again like another very loose sketch that I did, and this was just for me to better understand, like, okay, like where do I want to take these kinds of drawings, and I still don't know yet, but through some hard work and that grind I plan to find out. I just don't know yet. Let's see. Okay, and this was probably one of after that one, I went back to drawing with the thin brush. I was just like, okay, like it was just making me feel like shit. Like I was just like, all right, I don't understand what I'm doing, so let me just do a little bit of what I do understand. So I just did some of these, and I had a lot of fun. I reused the pose for these, like kind of, but for the most part, I gave them all very distinct. I would think very distinct designs. just pretend you don't see this arm right there. Like, I don't know what I was doing, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, I did do stages, and I tried numbering the layers and all that stuff, but I started losing control. I was just like, all right, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. So this was stage. Let's see, stage 1. Wait, what the hell? This is my reference, by the way, so I don't know if you noticed. Yeah. Wow, I didn't even have stage 1. The copy that I picked for stage 1, I didn't have anything. Wow, that sucks. I was happy for a second. And then this is the one that I was just working on a little bit today. So it's another really loose sketch. That's my reference right there. I don't know. I don't know. But I tried, I tried to not stick to it too much, but things happen. So that's everything up to 2020. So hopefully I can upload more of these videos, kind of give myself a something to look back on. Yeah, that's it. All right, later.